Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday, April 29th, 2025 meeting of the Lewis and Clark County Board of County Commissioners. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, with one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start out with introducing this fine team here at the head desk. To my immediate left is Commissioner Tom Rolfe. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Chair Payne.
To his immediate left is Randy Spangler, who takes care of all the records and minutes and keeps us on time. Good morning, Brandi. And Greg McNally, the head of our planning department here in Lewis and Clark County. Good morning, Greg. Nico Hash and Keenan Shea are here from the county attorney's office to help us make sure we abide by the rules. Good morning, gentlemen. And Roger Balls, the CAO, mission exec. He's the administrative executive. That's what it is. Thank you. Good morning, Roger. There is a sign-in sheet at the front of the room. I hope you'll all take the time to sign in and provide us with some recognition that you were actually here. First of all, we are going to start today with the Lewis and Clark County Proclamation for the 2025 Greater Helena Gives Day. And this proclamation will be read for us by Emily Frazier, who is the Executive Director of the Helena Area Community Foundation. Will you come to the podium, please?
Thank you very much, Chair and Commissioners. Happy to be here today, and thank you for doing this for us.
Please state your name.
I am Emily Frazier with the Helena Area Community Foundation. And we are the hosts of Greater Helena Gives, which is a 24-hour period of giving in the Greater Helena area. And this year we have a record-setting 116 local nonprofits that are all participating. And so during this Giving Day, people can come to one site and give donations to multiple organizations, even in a single transaction. We make it a lot of fun. There are some prizes, there are matches, it's really a way to not only raise funds for nonprofits that could really use it, especially this year. I feel like I say that every year, but there's a new reason, especially this year. And also to really highlight the presence and necessity of the local nonprofits on our community as a whole. So thank you for recognizing the first Thursday as Greater Helena Gives. And I will read the proclamation.
Thank you.
Whereas Lewis and Clark County recognize the essential role that nonprofit organizations play in building compassionate, safe, healthy, and resilient communities by providing critical services, supporting the arts, education, health, and human services, and enhancing the overall well-being of residents. And whereas the Helena Area Community Foundation hosts Greater Helena Gives, a 24 annual online giving campaign that brings together donors and nonprofits to raise funds and awareness for the organizations that serve the Greater Helena area. And whereas since its inception, Greater Helena Gives has generated significant financial support and increased visibility for local nonprofits, strengthening the impact of their missions throughout Lewis and Clark County. And whereas this annual day of giving fosters civic pride and unity by encouraging residents to support local causes, reinforcing the spirit of generosity that defines our county. And whereas the first Thursday in May has been established as the official day to celebrate and conduct Greater Helena Gives each year. And whereas in 2025, Greater Helena Gives will take place from 8 p.m. on Wednesday, April 30th to 8 p.m. on Thursday, May 1st, bringing the entire community together in a shared commitment to philanthropy. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Lewis and Clark County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim the first Thursday in May as Greater Helena Gives Day in Lewis and Clark County and encourage all citizens to participate in this meaningful day by supporting local nonprofit organizations and celebrating the generosity and compassion that make our communities thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and for the record, this was dated today and it is signed by each of the county commissioners. We're going to take a little time to take photographs to designate the day and make a record of it. So if we could take a little time. Oh, geez.
I just had a question for
The voice of experience. You know, Andy has been here for 18 years and he's done this multiple times. So when I kind of gloss over something, he points it out. Yes.
No,
Andy.
you're doing great. I just wanted to ask Emily about those that might be watching today or listening, how they might get involved, where they would go, what they can do to make sure they have an opportunity to participate.
Absolutely. So the giving site, because we have a couple of pre-events and post-events, the giving site's actually already live, but the main push starts 8 p.m. on
Hey.
Wednesday.
It already lies.
Live. The site
Live.
is live. The site
Hard
is
of
live.
hearing.
No, it's okay. I'm also hard of speaking sometimes, especially when I get nervous.
Thank you.
But the site's already live and accepting donations, but the main push is still that 24-hour period. So to be involved, people can participate in really a plethora of ways. I don't believe we've ever had so many nonprofit events as ever this year. And so the ones that we know about are listed on the Greater Helena Gives website. Every day I feel like I see a new nonprofit publication that has a new one. And I'm like, oh, we got to get this on the site too. But if you go to greaterhelenagives.org, you can give online. If you prefer not to give online, we can also accept donations at any number of our donor lounges throughout the day. So starting at 1889 in the morning, we'll be at Opportunity Bank around the lunchtime. And then in the evening, we'll be at Blackfoot Brewery. So people can drop by those events if they'd like to give not online. And we can accept those kinds of donations as well. And then also, like I said, nonprofits are holding more events than I'm currently capable of counting. So there's a lot of opportunities to give. People can give directly to a nonprofit as well, but if they want to ensure that it's recorded in the online giving day, it's great to bring them to us. We'll make sure that they get loaded onto both. So,
Thank you, Chair Payne.
Yes, and thank you for asking that very pertinent question for us. With that in mind, shall we approve this proclamation and then move into the photo op?
I don't think we need to take any action, but we can just, it's
The action was taken when we signed it.
right.
Okay, let's take some photographs. Is the original up there?
Yeah.
Okay, be right back. Where's Betsy? Oh.
do I take it now?
Yeah, that's you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, moving right along. Next on the agenda is the consent action items presented by our CAO, Roger Balls. Consent action item 3A and 3B.
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioners. Item 3A is Resolution 2025-29 declaring county property surplus property. Staff recommends approval of that item. The next item is item 3B. So again, it's items 3A and 3B. 3B is public meeting minutes for February 18, April 1, 10, 15, and 22, 2025, and staff recommends approval of that item as well. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Balls. Does any of the commissioners have any questions?
None here?
Seeing no questions, is there any public comment on this? Seeing none. How about a motion to approve?
Chair Payne, I would move to approve consent action items 2A and 2B as presented by Mr. Baltz.
Second.
It has been,
3A and 3B, I'm sorry.
oh, you're right. 2A was the proclamation.
Still second.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. Let's see, I've asked for questions from you guys. Is there any public? We already did the motion. Did I get the public comment? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Any further comment from the commission? Seeing none. It has been moved and seconded that we approve consent action items 3A and 3B as presented by Mr. Balls. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 3-0. Next on the agenda. Ooh, this is where it gets cool. Yeah, we're going to have the bid award for 2025 Fairgrounds Asphalt Supply presented by Mr. Dan Karlin.
Interesting. Good morning, Chair Payne, Commissioners. For the record, Dan Karlin, County Engineer. On April 15th of 2025, 2 bids were opened for the 2025 Fairgrounds Asphalt Supply Project. The project generally consists of supplying an estimated 3,790 tons of performance grade 70-28 asphalt and 1,950 gallons of tack oil for paving parking areas, the main entrance road, and additional areas located in and around the Fairgrounds complex in Lewis and Clark County, Montana. Funding for this project comes from an American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, grant award. The asphalt will be available for delivery between July 7th and September 15th of 2025. After review of bids, staff recommends awarding the bid to the low bidder, Hoffman's R&M Services of Butte, Montana, for a unit price bid of $80 per ton for the supply of asphalt and $3.50 per gallon of tack oil for a total estimated contract amount of $310,025 and authorized the chair to sign the award letter. And I can answer questions you may have.
I have a question. This is an estimated contract amount. Can you give me a little more detail as to why we don't have an exact amount?
Absolutely, Chair Payne, Commissioners. So with a unit price bid, typically what happens is we award the bid for the unit price of the material per unit. So in this case, ton. When you actually go and place asphalt in the field, you can never be exactly precise on that number. So what we do is we award that again on a unit price and we pay for what's actually in place. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little bit more, but it's really close to that overall contract number that we have specified here.
That seems like a very common sense way to approach it. Thank you, Dan. Andy, do you have any questions?
I do not, Chair Payne.
Tom?
None?
Is there any public comment regarding this matter? Seeing none, let's have a motion here, gentlemen.
Chair Payne, I'd move that we award the bid for the 2025 Fairgrounds Asphalt Supply to Hoffman's R&M as presented by Mr. Karlin.
Second, Chair Payne.
Is there any further comment from the commission? Seeing none. It has been moved and seconded that we approve the motion or the action item as presented by Dan Karlin to for the bid award for the 2025 Fairgrounds asphalt supply. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Ooh, now. Item 4B, the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Pine Cove Consulting as presented by the head of our Public Works Department, Jenny Chambers.
Good morning, Chair Payne and Commissioners. For the record, my name is Jenny Chambers, Lewis Clark County Public Works Director. In October of 2024, Lewis Clark County was awarded the Montana Disaster and Emergency Services 2024 Homeland Security Grant in the amount of $121,350 for the courthouse security upgrades. Upgrades are to include replacing and expanding the courthouse closed-circuit television system with non-traditional and non-National Defense Authorized Act compliant systems and installing door alarms and first-floor window glass break alarms. Before you today is a contract with Pine Cove Consulting to replace and install cameras in Lewis Clark County Courthouse. The contract will replace and upgrade 26 existing cameras and add 10 more cameras to provide more coverage where gaps in vulnerable areas were identified. The cameras will provide 90 days of footage with the option of unlimited archives backed up to the Verkada Command Cloud service and a subscription license for 10 years per camera. The replacement of the new cameras is necessary because of the existing camera system is Hikvision, which has major vulnerabilities and is a non-National Defense Authorized Act compliant system and is susceptible to cyber attacks. The new system would be compliant with that National Defense Authorization Act. Staff recommends approval of the contract with Pine Cove Consulting for a total sum not to exceed $150,625.74, with the work to be completed by September 30th of 2025 and authorize the chair to sign all applicable contract documents. And happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you, Jenny. Any questions?
Madam Chair, or Chair Payne, I think you addressed mainly, I was going to ask a question about storage and the ability to retrieve things, how long it would be available if there were an event there and those kinds of things, or if we need to look back. And I think you addressed that 90 days, is that what you said?
Chair Payne, Commissioner Hunthausen, that's correct. For the courthouse, we went to a longer storage capacity of 90 days, and then you can archive it. So if there's an incident that occurs, we automatically in the buildings maintenance department would secure that archive footage just in case it may or may not be needed in the future. So it's up to 90 days. We can go back to archive that. Unlimited storage of archives. So if there's an incident that occurs, we can store that for as long as that we need to. The courthouse is 90 days. Some of our other facilities, the camera coverage is only 30 days. So we went a longer time because of the sensitivity and the issues surrounding the courthouse of what might be needed.
Chair Payne, one more if I could. And then you mentioned that 10 additional cameras to expand our ability to see areas without have to give away all the areas, but I'm assuming that we can see more around the courthouse grounds and as well as inside where there aren't.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Hunthausen, that's correct. We didn't have a lot of exterior building coverage like in the parking lots and some of the sidewalk areas that will be included. That's something we don't have the capabilities now. The good news is that they're actually getting ready to start work on Monday. With the delays on our contracting, we didn't lose our schedule of the time that the consultant was going to come in and start doing this work. So they're actually on board to start Monday to get this work established. So we're not going to be that long without good coverage within the courthouse.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Tom, do you have any questions?
No, I think that answered my questions. So.
I've got just one little minor one. Does this include any cameras for example, the Public Works yard? We've got a lot of equipment out there that is susceptible to vandalism, I would think.
Chair Payne, thanks for that question. We are making progress on all of our facilities within the county that the Building Maintenance Department maintains. We already have cameras installed at the landfill, Lewis and Clark landfill. We already have cameras installed and upgraded at the Public Works complex. We did a contract, I think, last year for the Public Works complex. We are now doing the courthouse. And then in fiscal year 26 budget requests, we are asking for potential cameras for 222, the building 222 where the county attorney's office is at. Or 310 area, they're in the 310 building. And then also the Michael A. Murray building over there where Purview and Public Health is. So we're making progress to get all of our county buildings with the same camera system, same companies, same cloud-based services so that we can monitor and maintain all of the cameras across the buildings regardless of what location we're at. So you can do that remotely with great capabilities.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny. Is there any other question?
No.
Is there any public comment? Speak now or forever hold your peace. In that case, let's have a motion, gentlemen.
Chair Payne, I move to approve the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Pine Cove Consulting as explained by Jenny Chambers.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Pine Cove Consulting as explained by Jenny Chambers. Let's see. Yeah. Got any further comment?
No.
Don't.
Okay, then let's have a vote. All in favor of approving this contract signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Passes unanimously. Thank you, Jenny. Okay. Next on the agenda is the item 4C lease agreement between Lewis and Clark County and Chip Foster as presented again by Jenny Chambers.
Good morning, Chair Payne, Commissioners. For the record, again, my name is Jenny Chambers, Lewis Clark County Public Works Director. For your consideration today is a lease agreement between Lewis and Clark County as the leaseor and Chip Foster as the leasee. Lewis and Clark County owns an additional 160 acres adjacent to the current Lewis and Clark landfill location. So on your screen, you can see the landfill, which is the one that has the ground that's been disturbed and the roads and stuff that have been constructed on the north portion of your screen. The bottom portion is the additional 160 acres that is adjacent. And that use of that property is for the sole purpose of the further expansion of the landfill and is not needed for at least 75 years or more. So it's property we own with the intention that we're going to end up growing in the future, but it's a ways out. The lease agreement is to utilize the about 140 acres as open space for agricultural use. In exchange, Chip Foster, the leasee, will practice best management practices and land stewardship practices on this property. He'll manage the noxious weeds, repair and maintain fences, and pay $15 per seeded acre every other year through December 31st, 2034. The amount of the $15 is half the annual lease rate for dryland crop use. We got this land appraised and to evaluate what that lease amount potentially could be. And then in the exchange of managing noxious weeds, practicing good land stewardship, and maintaining the fences, we reduce that appraisal amount by half. So he'll be paying $15 per seeded acre every other year when he plants a crop on that land. Staff recommends approval of lease agreement with Chip Foster for the total amount not to exceed $15 per seeded acre every other year through December 31st, 2034, and authorize the chair to sign. And this is a cost savings to the county because we won't have to manage that land and manage noxious weeds during the time that this lease is in place. And happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you, Jenny. I have a couple of questions. Does he grow hay or wheat or lentil? What does he grow on this ground?
Chair Payne, that's a great question. It's for any agriculture use that he likes to do. I think he rotates his crops.
Okay.
I'm not sure what he grows first and what he grows second and how he maintains that. But he does use it for dry farming.
Okay, I was thinking more in terms of, if he summer follows it every other year, maybe that's why we're doing the every other year. But you explained that already and answered my question. So, okay. Any questions from the commission, Tom?
If I might, Chair Payne, that area that we're talking about is area directly south on the map, and it probably carries down below the picture there a little bit.
Ms. Chair Payne, to Commissioner Rolfe, that's correct. It's directly south of the current landfill location. And you can see there with the description of where that property ends on that lower half. That's where the county property ends.
Right down here. Okay, right where the arrow is. Okay, that's right. Thank you.
Yep.
Andy? Oh, well, you lucked out, huh? Okay, the commission having no more questions, is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the lease agreement between Lewis and Clark County and Chip Foster, as explained by Jenny Chambers.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve this contract for the lease agreement between Lewis and Clark County and Chip Foster. Is there any other comments made by the commission?
None.
Seeing none. All in favor of approving this lease agreement indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion is unanimously approved, and I will get this lease signed. Thank you, Jenny. Item number, where did everybody go? Guess. Okay, item number 4D, Resolution 2530 to create the Skyview Phase 5 Road Rural Improvement District number 2025-1. And this will be presented by Mr. Phil Gonzalez.
Good morning, Chair Payne and Commissioners. Phil Gonzalez here with Lewis and Clark County's Community Development and Planning. You mentioned I am presenting the Skyview Phase 5 Resolution 2025-30. Resolution to create a rural improvement district for the maintenance of road improvements. That RID number will be 2025-1. So you can see from the vicinity map on the screen, Skyview Phase 5 is a subdivision, is an 8.6 acre parcel that has preliminary approval for the creation of 20 residential lots and 1 utility lot. The subdivision is located south of Prairie Road and west of North Montana Avenue. The subdivision received preliminary approval from this commission on December 8th of 2020 and was subject to 23 conditions of approval. The applicant requested an extension of the 3-year approval and received that, pushing out that expiration to December of 2026. Of the 23 conditions of approval, number 20 requires the creation of an IRD for road maintenance of that subdivision. As a result, you can see on the screen, the applicant has formally requested the creation of that RID for the subdivision as required in state statutes and as part of the preliminary approval. Alongside that request are estimated costs for the associated maintenance, which are outlined within the resolution, but will include the maintenance, preservation, repair of the internal access roads, including snow removal, culvert cleaning, pothole repair, maintenance of the chip seal, and signage. In addition, as is typical with RIDs, a 5% administrative fee will be attached to the total cost. Those estimated costs are before the 5% administration fee, which totals $4,300 total for all the lots within the subdivision, coming to a estimated per lot cost of $204.76. I will note that we're taking action to create the RID. A separate action to levy and assess occurs after the creation of those lots. And with that, I can answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
I have a question, Phil. I live out in that area, and as I recall, at some point, since I've been on this commission, there were some flooding problems, and I think it had to do with springtime runoff, and I think it was on the Genie Road, in that area, and Apple Drive. Do you remember what I'm? And it had to do with the condition of the road, and they didn't have culverts that were cleared out. You're nodding your head. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Chair Payne, Commissioners, I'm not too familiar with that event or flood event, if it's directly related to this subdivision.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission? Tom, Andy?
Chair Payne, Mr. Gonzalez, just to, I think I know the answers to these, but just for those that might be watching, we haven't had a final plat in a little while and or an RID creation. So just to remind folks, this is typically a normal part of the process of creating a new subdivision, that we try to establish RIDs with those new subdivisions so that we know that the folks living there into the future have a mechanism for maintaining their streets and signage and all of those kinds of things. And it is those folks that live in the neighborhood that use those streets that are responsible to do that. And this RID establishes that. So prior to someone buying a lot there, essentially they will know that there's an RID attached to the property, and that they'll have a way of making sure that that maintenance and those things are done into the future. Just, I guess that's a statement, but a question if you want to add to that at all. Don't have to, but.
Chair Payne, Commissioner Hunthausen, that is correct. As part of the subdivision review process, a RID is one of those conditions that each parcel within that subdivision will be levied and assessed to fund those maintenance of the internal roads and the ditches and the culverts all along there. So when property owners, that's all established prior to the final plat, which is immediately following this, so that when those lots are created, that RID is already there to exist, and that when a future property owner purchases a parcel within that subdivision, they are automatically included within that RID and have that maintenance abilities for their internal roads.
Thank you. Thanks, Chair Payne.
Thank you. I think our Commissioner Hunthausen has explained the importance of these road improvement districts as related to the all of us roads versus the few of us. And when this takes care of the roads that are primarily used by the people living in this subdivision, and then the rest of us all help pay for things like Montana Avenue and did you call them the all of us roads? Is that what it was, Andy? Everybody roads, that's what it was. And I thought that was a good explanation for people wanting to purchase lots in a subdivision with an RID. Okay. Any further questions, Tom?
No, just a note if I might have, quite often we're preparing one of these RIDs, we have to get signatures from all the people who are owners, but now in this particular case, since it's not been subdivided or sold rather, we just have one owner to deal with, which is the individual who has put together this subdivision. And so then it'll be ready to go as he starts selling lots. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Any further questions? Is there any public comment? Oh, no public public comment. Okay, in that case, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I'd move that we approve Resolution 2025-30 to create the Skyview Phase 5 Road Rural Improvement District number 2025-01 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that this commission approve Resolution 2025-30 to create the Skyview Phase 5 Road Rural Improvement District number 2025-1 as explained by planner Phil Gonzalez. Any further comment? Seeing none, all in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next on the agenda, 4E. This is the final plat application for Skyview Phase 5 subdivision, SUBD 2025-007. The applicant is Last Chance Holdings LLC, and Mr. Phil Gonzalez will be doing the presentation.
Thank you, Chair Payne, Commissioners. Again, Phil Gonzalez here with the Community Development and Planning. As you mentioned, for the record, I am presenting Skyview Phase 5, the final plat subdivision application. As I mentioned previously, this subdivision is a 21 lot, 8-acre subdivision that was preliminary approved by this commission on December 8th of 2020. That approval was extended to December 8th of 2026 by this commission on March 23rd of 2022. Again, here is the vicinity map for that subdivision, as I mentioned previously, located south of Prairie Road, west of North Montana. Commissioners, Skyview Phase 5 was subject to 23 conditions of approval. Those conditions have since been met, and the applicant has submitted a final plat application to complete this subdivision. In the staff report I provided, I have a list of all the required conditions and how they were met with all the referenced documents that supported them. I'm not going to go through all of those, but I'll just highlight a few of them to kind of get a general sense of those conditions, which included the creation of a fire protection system, which was connected to the neighboring system and consists of a fire hydrant on site within the Skyview Phase 5, capable of producing 316,000 gallons from a reservoir. The construction of internal roads to county standards were reviewed and approved by county staff. The applicant received DEQ approval for those 20 residential lots, providing in addition for the utility lot, which is used for a water supply facility. The public water.
Phil, excuse me, could you talk more slowly and distinctly? I've got hearing problems and I'm having trouble understanding you.
Oh, yeah.
So from here on.
Commissioner Payne, yes. The public water supply system and public sewage systems provided through the Skyview and North Star subdivision. The applicant, as a condition, provided cash in lieu for parkland dedication, totaling $3,972. Proportionate share to impacted roads contribution is totaled for 8 sections of road, totaling $160,937. So there's just a couple of examples of some of the conditions of approval that were required as part of this final plat application. With that, Commissioners, staff is recommending approval. I'm available for any questions you may have, and the applicant's representative is here as well. Thank you.
Phil, I have a real concern about the availability of water, and it's going to, from what I understand, and maybe I don't have this quite right, that this will be become a part of the North Star subdivision, the water supply that they have. Is that correct?
Chair Payne, Commissioners, it's a public system, sewage and water system that comes through the adjacent subdivisions. I Not entirely sure if that water supply is coming from North Star. I believe that the sewage treatment systems is going through there. I might have to defer to either the applicant or our director, Mr. McNally, who worked on this project through the preliminary process.
I would love to hear from the applicant. You said the applicant is here? Could you come forward, please? Either one. I just want more information on this water supply.
Morning, Madam Chair. I'm Tony Prothero, and Commissioners. I'm Tony Prothero with J-Bar-T Engineers, and I represent the applicant on this project. So the water system is actually provided by the Skyview water system. So water supply, water mains were extended from Skyview subdivision into this project. This water system has not experienced any of the, I don't know, any problems or anything like that, that some of the neighboring projects have experienced. These wells are pretty robust, and the water system is designed, it has sufficient capacity to handle this subdivision. And there's plenty of water rights also in place to handle these additional 20 lots. So I understand what your concerns are, but this is a different water system than some of the others that have experienced issues. And these wells are also constructed pretty deep. They're I think the shallowest one is over 300 feet deep into kind of into a lower aquifer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I live out there, and I've got friends that live in the North Star subdivision,
Right.
and they have struggled with water
That's correct.
for the last 20 years. So I appreciate the efforts with the deeper wells and making sure this doesn't become a future problem.
Right.
Everything else we can deal with, but
Yeah.
water we have to have. So thank
It's
you
important.
for paying attention.
Indeed. You're welcome. Thanks. We're available for more questions if you have any.
I've got one.
Yep.
If I might,
Go for
Chair
it,
Payne.
Don.
I see we're looking at about 20 regular similar sized lots, and then the one larger lot that's for utilities, and what's all envisioned in that larger utility lot.
The utility lot is all that will ever be on the utility lot is a well, and and there's some pipelines, of course, that connect the well to the distribution system for Skyview subdivision. There are no plans for any future development of that. That site is that large so that the isolation zone so it's a 100-foot radius isolation zone is fully contained on the property, and basically to protect that well is how that site is designed. So there will be no future development unless any future plans could happen. Just say, for example, I suppose if they were able to hook onto a different water system or something like that, then it may become available for development someday, but then that would have to come back before the Board of County Commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no plans for development. It's infrastructure only.
Okay. And if I might follow up,
Go for it.
I went out and drove around the area and just, noticing all the things that have been completed on it. And I was just really pleased to see that piece of property being put hopefully soon into more productive use.
Well,
and it just looked to me like you and the owner have planned it pretty well, and it should help when it seems like we've had an extreme demand on property on subdivision property lately. I hope it works out well.
thank you, Mr. Rolfe. We're excited to see this one come to a conclusion, and I think we're all really happy with the way this one turned out. I think it's going to be a nice neighborhood.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right.
Actually, Chair Payne, I made for Mr. Gonzalez. just
Okay.
to- Again, I know the answer, but just to affirm this for the record, all 23 conditions have been met and have been reviewed by staff and meet the appropriate threshold for moving forward.
Chair Payne, Commissioner Hunhausen, yes, that is correct. Staff has gone through all the conditions of approval and to verify that they have all been met.
Great, thank you, Chair Payne.
Okay. Okay, so we don't have any more questions. Would the applicant like to say anything? Or? Okay, with his comments are enough. People like to see who's actually the brains behind this or the push, but the muscle behind it. I know who the brains is. It's the engineer.
Sure. Thank you, Chair Payne. And it's, I'm not very good at public speaking.
Let's
But
just say your name.
John Maxness.
Could you spell your last name?
Maxness.
Okay.
Anyway, this has been a project that I've been working on for several years, and it's kind of good to see it finally come to fruition. I think a lot of things were lined up well with just where the property sat and, getting it lined up with the roads. And I think we did everything well, had a good contractor in there, good engineer. So kind of excited to get moving forward with it. A lot of interest in the property for sure. Seems like the developers are looking for lots, and so excited to see it move forward. So I would, got any more questions, or I'm here, but anyway, appreciate the county's time on this and everybody working on it. So.
And I appreciate your, efforts this way. We are short of housing for young people, and we need to have this kind of subdivision with good planning and roads and water, because once it's approved, there's no backseas. The
Right.
people who buy those lots are stuck with if we make a mistake. So I know it's a real struggle to get any of this stuff done, but if we don't, the ramifications can be really nasty. I was a water attorney for many years, and it just scares me to think about what happens if this well goes dry. So, or if it's polluted by something else. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, it's been good. The county's been great to work with. I mean, I think
Good.
they're, wanting to get these projects done too. So, everybody's been good to work with, and appreciate it. So.
Good.
Thank you.
We don't, no further questions from either of you. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, could we have, could we have a motion?
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the final plat application for Skyview Phase 5 subdivision, subdivision 2025-007, as explained by Mr. Gonzalez and the developers.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the commission should approve the application, the final plat application for Skyview Phase 5 subdivision, as explained by Mr. Gonzalez and by the applicant and by the applicant's engineer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Seeing none, motion passes unanimously.
If I might just
Uh-oh.
add one thing,
Certainly.
I hope you make enough money that you'll go back and do another one.
To the same standards. Okay. All right. This is the portion of our county commission agenda, which we ask for any public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above. Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.